down, all your weight is going down and forward. You've got to create base first. So your base is your front foot. Once that's landed, you've got to be in a star position. Everything, your back leg, your back arm, front arm, and your back leg have got to be parallel with each other. And once you create the base, that's when you thrust everything forward. Okay, so that's the thing. Guys, our next case study will be Muhammad Amir, the Pakistani fast bowling sensation. Now, Amir is an interesting case study because he had two bowling actions. One when he started in 2009 and 2010. As you can see, the old action when he first started. As you can see, beautiful run up, the L-shaped run up, loading up beautifully in his bowling arm here. Now, that starts it off. The bowling action starts off with your bowling arm load up. Now, as you can see, Amir is loading up his bowling arm. His back leg is also impulsing into the bowling stride. Okay. Now, that was the result of Amir really thrusting his bowling action into the load up. So when he had that, his arm was flying beautifully into the crease. His front foot landed and his weight was on the back foot, allowing the center of mass. Now, kinetic chain, whether you're punching, whether you're throwing, whether you're bowling, whether you're sprinting, kinetic chain all starts from the feet and it travels up. So how we do that is the ground has, there's ground reaction forces. So in order to do that, this is how it starts. So Amir's bowling action, as you can see, as he loads up into the bowling action and he lands on his front foot, the kinetic chain starts from, the power starts from the back ankle into the knee, into the hip, into the shoulder. Now, that's half of it. Once it travels into this kinetic chain, you've got to control the center of mass not going forward. So the weight, when you're bowling, the weight's going to go forward anyway. Okay? So what really fast bowlers, how they are separated from fast bowlers is some bowlers throw their weight forward and the real fast bowlers hold their weight and drive their weight forward. Okay? So the kinetic chain, the back foot, knee, hip, shoulder, beautifully balanced center of mass. It all works beautifully into the action, and your front arm and your front foot, they have a reaction. This is a reaction momentum. Okay, so action and reaction. Everything, guys, start, as you can see from Amir. Everything starts from the back foot, initiating that kinetic chain. Okay, into the ball. Now, as you can see, Amir's action in the 2 years ago when he came back, his action was he is rushing his bowling arm. Therefore, he's rushing his kinetic chain. His center of mass is falling forward, and therefore, there's no good length kick that he used to have. The pace has gone down, obviously, and the bowling is less efficient. Okay, what I'd like to do is get him to have his bowling arm again come up with a thrust mode that will hold his back leg, his center of mass, and he will get his kinetic chain back, and he will get the pace back, and he will get that good length kick what he used to have. That's what he'll get back, and I think he's got about 5 or 6 years in him. I think he'll come back and make an impact. So finally, guys, we've analysed Brett Lee, we've analysed Muhammad Amir. Now the next action is one of his own, Jasprit Bumrah, what can I say, the great Indian fast bowler. Now, when he first started, there was a lot of talk of him being biomechanical, inefficient. But let me tell you, Jasprit Bumrah, to a naked eye, looks an unorthodox bowler, but biomechanically, let me tell you, he's really efficient. Now, I'll explain. Now, from a short run-up, he gathers his momentum into the crease. Now, I would have liked him to have a little bit of a long run-up, but, we're not all the same. But what he does beautifully here is, Jasprit Bumrah loads up, not the traditional coaching manual. He loads up here, okay? Then, as you can see, he holds his weight beautifully between back and front foot. Now, that's the key to his pace. As you can see, when he lands on his back foot, he's got a back knee drop. He works his kinetic chain up beautifully. And the main thing is, guys, if you can see his action from sideways here, there's not an ounce of weight and force that he wastes. He's pretty much holding his load up to the last second. When he lands on his front foot, that's when he really thrusts forward. Now, as a result, he's got a beautifully braced front knee. He's got a beautifully biomechanically efficient action with very minimal lateral flexion. Everything goes towards the body, towards the batsman. The body, he throws his body forward with proper propulsion. Like, he's not just throwing his weight forward, he's driving. Remember, to drive the weight forward between back foot and front foot. Now, another thing Jasprit Bumrah does really well is the wrist. He uses every inch of his wrist he uses to propel the ball, which is beautiful. Now, a lot of talk of him being, no one's seen his action before, him being, different. Let me tell you, the basics that he does biomechanically are perfect. The basics that he does. Why does he look different to the naked eye? Is his front arm. His front arm, instead of going back, it just stays there. However, as you can see here, yes, he doesn't lift his front arm really well, but look at that. From sideways, his front arm doesn't take him forward. That's what matters, guys. That's what matters. He's staying tall on his back leg. His front arm doesn't throw him off forward or doesn't allow him to collapse. So that's the thing. He controls his levers beautifully, so he compensates that by not going up, his front arm up. So the key to all bowling actions are momentum, alignment, how you manage your body levers, and how you deliver and follow through the crease. Jasprit Bumrah does this biomechanically in a very efficient manner. Might not look pretty to the eye, but let me tell you, he has biomechanically a very good action. So he's also hyperextended in his bowling arm. Okay, that's fine. That gives you that extra lever. Shoaib Akhtar had extra levers when he was hyperextended. So has Brett Lee. So when you are hyperextended, it gives you that little extra lever to work with. Jasprit Bumrah does this beautifully. Now, why he does that beautifully is from his back leg. When he lands on his back foot, okay, he holds his back foot and all his levers beautifully. Yes, his front arm is there, okay, instead of being there. Now, the coaching manual usually teaches you to have the front arm and the back leg pretty much in the same line of back foot, okay. Now, I'm not a big fan of that. I think the more higher you go, right, the more forward momentum you lose. So it's just got to come naturally. Yes, the front arm goes up, but front leg and front arm go up as reaction force of bowling arm and back leg going back, okay? You can't just go, front arm's got to go there and your bowling arm is there, okay? So whatever you do with this should do as reaction. Remember, the side of your bowling, whether I'm a left-hander, so side dictates your front side, okay? This is action, this is reaction. Look at that. Jasprit Bumrah at back foot, his action is his back knee, his back leg, and now as he thrusts forward, as you can see, his front arm and his front leg are having a reaction lever to whatever he's doing from the back. So therefore, I think Jasprit Bumrah, despite causing a lot of criticism with his bowling action, I think biomechanically his action's not perfect, but is really efficient. Thank you.